Hi everyone, today I'm going to be discussing my recommended character classes to pick for new players in World of Warcraft Classic. The classes I discuss in this video are also great picks for Season of Mastery. Please remember, these are my personal picks, and if you disagree, drop your choices down in the comment section below. I wanted to start this video off by discussing some classes I think new players should avoid choosing. I need to mention these classes as Classic WoW can be a complicated game and very confusing, especially to new players. Your talent builds are extremely important in Classic WoW. Spending your precious talent points in less effective talent trees can negatively impact your character's performance. It costs gold to respec your talent points, and gold is very hard to come by in this version of World of Warcraft. Raiding and dungeon groups consist of three types of classes in WoW: healers, tanks, and DPS players. I would advise any players new to the game to stick to a DPS class to start off with. As a DPS class, your role is straightforward. Deal as much damage per second to the enemy as possible. Tanking can be difficult in Classic WoW, even for long-time players of the game. Healing can also be confusing for players new to these games. As a DPS class, your job is easy to understand and there is less personal responsibility for DPS players. If a tank dies in a boss fight, the group is likely to die. If the healer dies, the tank will likely die, and thus the group will die. This is why I always recommend DPS classes for new players of Classic WoW. The class I would avoid playing as a new player is Warrior. Warriors in Classic WoW are extremely difficult to level. They are the best tanks in the game if a skilled player knows how to perform well on this class. However, they suffer from very bad survivability when solo leveling, especially in the early levels. Constant and expensive repair bills to fix broken armor and weapons are another reason playing a warrior can be frustrating. The warrior class can output amazing damage numbers, but they are highly reliant on having the best gear in order to consistently do so. While they are without a doubt the best choice for tanking in Classic WoW, new players should choose a DPS focused role as they build their knowledge of the game mechanics and systems. For my two picks of recommended classes for new players, I've split them up between ranged damage and melee damage. For ranged DPS, the class I would recommend most to a new player is Mage. The Mage is a familiar figure in Warcraft, and in Classic WoW they are the best choice of class for a new player. The Mage has many utility spells that make the leveling process efficient and fun. Mages can conjure their own food for health regeneration and their own water for mana regeneration. This on its own makes the solo leveling and group utility incredible for the mage. You can trade group members food and water and apply buffs to yourself and others with arcane intellect. The first character I created in Classic WoW was a mage, with a frost build focus. The damage output of frost builds in particular is amazing. It is also very strong in PvP situations, allowing you to slow and stun your enemies. Mages have the best crowd control abilities in the whole game, with spells such as Polymorph and Frost Nova, allowing you to group packs of enemies together and deal area of effect damage to all of them using Blizzard. One of the only downsides for the mage in Season of Mastery specifically is that Blizzard have nerfed the AoE farming capability. This has been done in an effort to crack down on the botting situation. Overall, the mage is my top pick for new players of Classic WoW who want to play a ranged DPS role. For melee DPS, the class I would recommend new players to try is Rogue. Rogues in Classic WoW have one of the most active playstyles of all the classes. They are constantly building stacks of Sinister Strike up and spending their combo points through abilities like Eviscerate to deal very high burst damage. The reason I would advise new players to try a rogue if they want to play a melee character is because they have access to great utility abilities such as Stealth, which can be used to sneak past large groups of enemies who would otherwise be too strong to take on. Rogues also have access to lockpicking, used to open lockboxes, which is a great skill to have. When playing a rogue, the player can also decide whether to spec their talent points for skill with daggers or with swords. This gives the player freedom in how they play the game and which weapon builds they prefer. Rogues are also very strong in PvP thanks to their frequent ability spam and use of deadly poisons. A downside of the rogue class is the fact that they are leather armor wearers, and because the rogue is a melee class, they can be killed quite easily due to the low armor rating of leather armor and the fact that you are being directly hit by your enemy while within melee range. This means taking too many hits can kill you quite fast. Overall, rogues are great fun to play in Classic. They have a simple but engaging rotation. They can output huge amounts of fast burst damage and can be played in many different ways. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoy my content and would like to see more. Bye.